Good evening, all. Welcome to this fun-filled session of storytelling. Before we go any further, let us ask President Arvind to call her and inaugurate and call the meeting to order.
I call the meeting to order.
As is the tradition with all functions, we begin our session with an invocation to the Lord Almighty to bestow His blessings. Today, we will have Raghavendra to do the honors. Over to you, Raghavendra.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಸವ ಜಯಂತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಕ್ಷಯ
ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ರವೀಂದ್ರ.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಓಕೆ,
ಆಡಿಬಲ್ಲ?
ನೋ ಯುವರ್ ಆಡಬಲ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಸವ ಜಯಂತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಕ್ಷಯ ತೃತೀಯ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳನ್ನ ತಿಳಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತತೆಯನ್ನ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಡುವಂತಹ ಬಸವಣ್ಣನವರ ಒಂದು ವಚನದ ಮೂಲಕ ಒಂದು ದೇವರ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯನ್ನ ಆರಂಭಿಸೋಣ. ವಚನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಮಾಮೃತ ತುಂಬಿ, ವಚನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಮಾಮೃತ ತುಂಬಿ, ನಯನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೂರುತಿ ತುಂಬಿ, ನಯನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೂರುತಿ ತುಂಬಿ, ವಚನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಮಾಮೃತ ತುಂಬಿ, ವಚನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಮಾಮೃತ ತುಂಬಿ, ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೆನಹು ತುಂಬಿ, ಕಿವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೀರುತಿ ತುಂಬಿ, ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೆನಹು ತುಂಬಿ, ಕಿವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೀರುತಿ ತುಂಬಿ, ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವಾ, ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚರಣ ಕಮಲದೊಳಗಾನು ತುಂಬಿ, ವಚನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಮಾಮೃತ ತುಂಬಿ, ನಯನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೂರುತಿ ತುಂಬಿ, ವಚನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಮಾಮೃತ ತುಂಬಿ, ವಚನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಮಾಮೃತ ತುಂಬಿ, ವಚನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಮಾಮೃತ ತುಂಬಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Thank you, Raghavendra, for that melodious song. And we now have the welcome address by our President, Arvind Aralaguppe.
Good evening, all. Welcome to the special and rare speaker session of Rotary Bangalore Abilities, and also it will be the last speaker session of the year 2021-2022. So first of all, I would like to invite Mr. Sundar NR, who will be the guest speaker today. A warm welcome to you, sir. We are so happy to invite you, and we are eagerly waiting to listen the hidden stories of Ramayana. And also, I would like to invite the members of Rotary Bangalore Abilities who joined this program. Welcome to you. Welcome to all of you. And I would also like to invite all my co-presidents and other Rotarians and the friends of Rotary and friends in Rotary. The Ramayana has its own importance in Indian culture. So I am waiting to listen more and more about this. Once again, welcome to all of you. Thank you, and over to Justin.
Thank you, Arvind. So stories play an important part in our life. Right from our birth till the day we die, something or the other changes and a new story is born. In fact, a child, before going to sleep, always asks mothers for the story. Without that, the child will not go to sleep. That is the power of storytelling. Once in a small town, a businessman came to a shoe store. He bought a shoe, but he forgot to bring the wallet. So he went to the salesman. The salesman was a new person. So the salesman did not know what to do. He went to the manager. Manager said, "Let us see how you will handle this situation." I am sure all of you are also eager like the manager to see how he handled the situation. Hopefully, I will give you the answer later, but let me not delay the welcome of our great speaker for the day, whose introduction will be given by Arun Mohan. Arun, are you there?
Good
Arun,
evening
Arun.
to all. Yes, yes, yes. Good evening to all. I was muted. Sure, that's right. Very good evening to all. Sundar, it takes an honor and pleasure to introduce Sundar to all of us. Sundar is a native of Bangalore. After graduating with bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the Mysore University, he worked in organizations like Robert Bosch Corporation, ITC, Tata Consultancy, Capgemini, Wipro, and Accenture. He specializes in data analytics and business intelligence and holds 12 patents in areas related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, and test analytics. In order to spend meaningful time and understanding the Itihasa and Puranas, which Sundar is passionate about, he took an early retirement from his employment. Now he spends most of his time reading ancient Indian texts translated in English and visiting temples that are at least 1,000 years old. It is a pleasure listening to you. It will be a pleasure listening to you, Mr. Sundar. Thank you very much and welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Arun. And ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to listen and learn from the master. Over to you, Sundar.
Thank you very much. I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
My pranams to everyone. Thank you very much for having me in this session. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkratam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. This is a shloka from Bhagavad Gita. If you are wondering why I am reciting a shloka from Bhagavad Gita in a session meant for Ramayana, a question that intrigues a lot of people. Tumba janaಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು doubt ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Why should God take incarnation on the earth? If God is so powerful, Why can't he protect us remotely? So the answer is in this shloka. Krishna says he takes avatars for 3 reasons. Paritranaya sadhunam. Sadhugalanna kapadake, to protect the sadhu. Sadhu is a devotee, one who believes in God. First reason. Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinashaya cha dushkratam. To destroy the mischievous people. Dushtrana nasha madake. And the third one is for dharma samstapana, which is to establish righteousness. Dharman kapadake. So 3 reasons. God takes avatara for 3 reasons. Of these 3 reasons, 2 he can do remotely. That is to destroy the dushtas and to establish dharma. He need not come here personally. But for protecting the sadhu, devotees na kapadake, bhaktar na kapadake, he comes in person. Why does he have to come in person? The simple example given by some of the great Mahatmas is, let us take the example of a movie where a rich person's son or daughter is kidnapped and he's asked for a ransom. The rich person can send the money through his servant, but the rich person will always go in person to hand over the money and get the child back because of the love and affection he has towards the child. ಮಗು ಮೇಲಿರೋ ಮಮತೆ ಕರುಣೆಯಿಂದ ತಂದೆ ತಾನೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಮಗುನ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. Similarly, God comes in person to save his devotees. So that is of the 3 reasons that Krishna quotes, the most important reason for avatara is sadhu rakshana. So there are many incarnations of the God, but the 2 that are most liked and important and interesting are the Rama avatara and the Krishna avatara. So Rama avatara is written, Ramayana was written by Valmiki. Before I go into details, more depth, this session is about 40 minutes or so. I will try to make justice to tell you stories that are rare, but we will not be able to cover everything in Ramayana. Ramayana is so vast, we will not be able to cover everything. So this is just like a trailer. And if you like my way of telling the story, if you like the story, you can invite me for more sessions and I can tell you more stories. So coming back to Ramayana. Ramayana was written by Valmiki. The first shloka in Ramayana starts with Valmiki asking Narada a question. Valmiki asks Narada, कौन अस्मिन् सांप्रतं लोके गुणवान् कश्च वीर्यवान् धर्मज्ञश्च कृतज्ञश्च सत्यवाक्यो दृढव्रतः चारित्रेण चको युक्तः सर्वभूतेषु कोहितः विद्वान् कः कः समर्थश्च कश्चैकप्रियदर्शनः आत्मवान् को जितक्रोधो मतिमान् को अनुसूयकः कस्य बिभ्यति देवाश्च जातरोषस्य संयुगे. So basically Valmiki is asking Narada, who in this world is virtuous? Yaro ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವನು, heroic, who has knowledge of what is right, ಯಾವುದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು ಯಾವುದು ಕೆಟ್ಟದು, who is conscious of service done, gratitude, who is truthful, firm of resolve, who is ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಸಮವಾಗಿ ನೋಡೋರು, most fair to all beings, friendly to all beings, who is very powerful, who is lovable in appearance, who has controlled his senses, who has physical splendor, above fault finding. He doesn't find fault with other people, but when he is angered, kopa bandre, even the devatas fear him, and who does not envy anyone, and who is sagacious. So Valmiki asked this question. 16, he asked Narada, who has these 16 characters? Narada, once he listens to this question, his eyes become wet with tears. It's not that he doesn't know the answer. Uttara gottilla antalla. Adre bhavatmaka agbiduttare Narada. He becomes emotional. Yakandre he thinks of Rama. The moment he thinks of Rama, he becomes emotional, and then he takes a minute to answer, and then he tells Valmiki, ಅಯೋಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ದಶರಥನ ಮಗ ರಾಮ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಈ ನೀನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ ಗುಣಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಗುಣಗಳು ರಾಮನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ Narada tells Valmiki that Rama is the person who has not only these 16 characteristics, but many more characteristics which cannot be listed by me. Then taking this forward, Valmiki writes Ramayana, the epic. Ramayana has 7 kanda or 7 parts. So the first part is Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, Yuddha Kanda, and Uttarakanda. In the 7 kandas, Valmiki brings out the different aspects of Rama. In Balakanda, Rama is Nayanabhirama, that is his childlike. In Ayodhya Kanda is Lokabhirama, that is his universal form. Everybody likes him, he likes everyone. In the Aranya Kanda, he is Ayanabhirama, which is he provides guidance to everyone. In Kishkinda Kanda, he is Vinayabhirama, he is humble. Although he is powerful, he makes friends with Sugriva, a monkey. It shows his humility. In Sundara Kanda, it is Pranayabhinama, he is affectionate towards Sita. In Yuddha Kanda is Pranavabhirama, that is he shows his godlike form. He fights with so many Rakshasas with the help of monkeys and kills them. In Uttarakanda, it is Paramabhirama, that is striving for salvation, moksha. He gives moksha to everybody. So in 7 kandas, Valmiki has shown the 7 different aspects of Rama. Today, I am going to spend time only on Uttarakanda. Up to Yuddha Kanda is the story of Rama, where he goes to the forest, loses Sita, he fights with Ravana, makes Vibhishana the king of Lanka, and he comes back to Ayodhya and becomes the king. At the end of Yuddha Kanda, Rama becomes the king of Ayodhya. In Uttarakanda, the story of Rama after he becomes the king is what is mentioned. Uttarakanda begins with these rishis, Sapta rishis visiting Rama. Rama has become the king, so all the rishis want to come and see him and thank him. So the Sapta rishis are Bhrigu, Vishwamitra, Vasishtha, Kashyapa, Agastya also comes. So there are many rishis that come, and Agastya on behalf of the rishis thanks Rama and says that once they arrive, Rama gives them the respect, makes them seated in appropriate seats. And Agastya thanks Rama saying that you have killed many Rakshasas. Particularly, we are so thankful to you that you killed Indrajit. On hearing this, Rama is a little bit curious. He asks Agastya that he tells to Agastya that I have killed so many Rakshasas. Eshto Rakshasaran kondidini. Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Atikaya, Kara, Dushana, Kumbha, Nikumba. But apart from all this, you're praising Indrajit. Ravana was the main Rakshasa. So why are you saying that it was my achievement of killing Indrajit is more important than killing the other Rakshasas? So Agastya narrates the history of Rakshasas. Up to Yuddha Kanda, the history of Rakshasas or history of Ravana is not mentioned. Brahma has many mind-born children. So Brahma's children are not physically born. They are all mind-born. One of them is Pulastya. Pulastya is a rishi. Pulastya married there is a rishi called Trinabindu. Trinabindu's daughter Manini. So Pulastya and Manini had a son by name Visrava. This Visrava was also a great ascetic. He avaru tumba tapas madidru. Once Visrava met Bharadwaja. Bharadwaja is another rishi, and Visrava married Bharadwaja's daughter Idavida. So there are lots of names in our Itihasas and Puranas. You will come across lots of names. Another thing is Itihasa Purana. Let me clarify. So some people have this doubt. What is the difference between Itihasa and Purana? Itihasa is written when the event is happening. Purana is written after the event has happened. So Ramayana and Mahabharata were written by Valmiki and Vedavyasa when the events happened. When Mahabharata was happening, Vedavyasa wrote it. When Ramayana happened, Valmiki wrote it. So they are called Itihasa. Whereas all other texts in Hindu are Puranas because they were written after the event. Padma Purana, Vamana Purana, Varaha Purana, all these were written after the events happened. So there'll be lots of names. For this purpose of storytelling, if you can remember it, it's good. Otherwise, you don't have to worry. Just these are names. They also have meanings, but we are not getting into those in this session. So Visrava married Idavida. They had a son by name Vaisarvana. This Vaisarvana performed severe penance for many thousands of years to Brahma. Brahma appeared and gave a boon to Vaisarvana. Vaisarvana wanted to become one of the Dikpalaka. There is some concept of Dikpalaka. There is a protector for each of the direction, north, south, east, west. So they are Indra, Varuna, Yama, and Kubera. So Brahma made Vaisarvana Kubera and one of the Dikpalakas. So Vaisarvana is the actual name. Kubera is a position. So Visrava's son Vaisarvana became Kubera, and Brahma presented him with a aerial car, a plane, Pushpaka Vimanana Kotru. Vaisarvana Kubera took this plane to his father and asked his father, where should I live? Yav Urali nan irbeku anta. So Visrava told Vaisarvana or Kubera to go and live in Lanka. Lanka was a city built by Vishwakarma for where the Rakshasas lived. So, but now it was abandoned. Rakshasaru Lankadalidru. But Vishnu in a Bayadinda, they left Lanka. Due to the fear of Vishnu, the Rakshasas left Lanka and it was vacant. So Visrava asked his son to go and settle in Lanka. Rama was curious. Rama ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಗಸ್ತ್ಯನ ಯಾಕೆ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು ಲಂಕಾನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋದ್ರು ಅಂತ. Why did the Rakshasas leave Lanka? There were three brothers, Mali, Sumali, and Malyavan. ಇವ್ರು 3 ಜನ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು. They performed severe tapas for thousands of years. And from Brahma, they got a boon or a vara that they would live for many, many, many years. So Brahma built a city for them through Vishwakarma. They built a city in Lanka, and Malayavan, Sumali, and Mali lived in Lanka. After some time, they became arrogant. Ahankara bandbiಡ್ತು, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಕೊಲ್ಲಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, nobody can kill us. So they started attacking yakshas, other rakshasas, nagas, human beings, and devas. They started troubling everyone. So the gods went to Shiva and asked Shiva for help. Shiva said, you approach Vishnu. So all the gods went to Vishnu and asked Vishnu's help for protection from these three brothers, Malyavan, Sumali, and Mali. A severe yuddha, war took place between Vishnu and these three brothers. See, they were in the Puranas, Itihasas, a person doesn't become strong by eating or physical exercise. ಯಾವುದೇ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಧರ್ಮದಿಂದಾನೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ತಪಸ್ಸಿಂದಾನೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. They get their strength from dharma and tapas. Since Malyavan, Sumali, and Mali had performed tapas for many thousand years, they cannot be killed easily. Gods can kill, but they follow rules. ದೇವರು ಕೊಲ್ಲಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೇನು ಅವರು ನಿಯಮಗಳನ್ನು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So they did not kill them immediately. They waited for their dharma to die, their punya phala to end. So when the time was right, Vishnu attacked Lanka and he fought with Malyavan, Sumali, and Mali. Using the Sudarshana Chakra, Vishnu killed Malyavan. Vishnu killed Mali. Once Mali was killed, the other Rakshasas became afraid. They ran away from Lanka. Ella Rakshasaru Mali sethodmele Lankan bitbiಟ್ಟು ಓಡೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಸುಮಾಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಲ್ಯವಾನ್ ತಲೆ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದ್ರು. They were hiding in different places. One day, Sumali saw Kubera, Vishrava's son, Vaisharvana, the person with the Pushpaka Vimana. Sumali saw Kubera in the Pushpaka Vimana, and he decided that his daughter, that is Sumali's daughter, should marry Vishrava. Because if Kubera is so powerful, it is because he is Vishrava's son. So, ಕುಬೇರ ಇಷ್ಟು ಶಕ್ತಿಶಾಲಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ವಿಶ್ರವನನ ಮಗ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಸುಮಾಲಿ ಅವನ ಮಗಳನ್ನ ವಿಶ್ರವನ್ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡ್ದ. ಸೊ ಸುಮಾಲಿಸ್ ಡಾಟರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಕೈಕಸಿ. ಕೈಕಸಿ ಅನ್ನೋಳು ವಿಶ್ರವ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಲು. ಸೊ ವಿಶ್ರವ saw Kaikeshi. She didn't tell directly, but he understood through his mystic power that Kaikeshi wanted to marry him. But she approached him at the wrong time. ತಪ್ಪಾದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶ್ರವನ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದ್ರು ಕೈಕಶಿ. ಸೊ ವಿಶ್ರವ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಿನ್ನ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಆದ್ರೆ ನಿನಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ದುಷ್ಟರಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. I will marry you, but your children will not be good children. They will be sons who will be a disturbance to the whole world. So Kaikeshi prayed to Vishrava that at least one child should be a good child, who will walk in the path of dharma. So Vishrava said, okay, your last son will be a very nice person. He will follow in the path of dharma. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದ್ ಮಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವನಾಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ವಿಶ್ರವ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆ ಆಯ್ತು, 4 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ 4 children. ಕೈಕಶಿ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿಶ್ರವ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ 4 children. The first one was Dasagriva, second Kumbhakarna, third Shurpanaka, and the fourth was Vibhishana. Iವ್ರ 4 ಜನ, these 4 people, the 3 sons performed tapas for 10,000 years to Brahma. Dasagriva would offer, he had 10 heads. At the end of every 1,000 years, he would offer one of his head in the fire. So he did this for 10,000 years. At the end of 10,000th year, when he was about to offer his 10th head, Brahma appeared. And he gave him a boon. What Dashagriva asked was that he should not have death at all. ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಲೇಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ದಶಗ್ರೀವ ಕೇಳ್ದ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಆತರ ವರ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ವರ ಕೇಳು ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದಶಗ್ರೀವ ಹೇಳ್ದ, ಐ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡೈ ಥ್ರೂ ಅ ದೇವ ಆರ್ ಥ್ರೂ ನಾಗ, ಯಕ್ಷ, ಆಲ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಂಕೀಸ್. ನಾನ್ ಇವ್ರ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾವಬಾರ್ದು, ಬರೀ ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ಅಥವಾ ಕೋತಿ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತ್ರ ನನ್ ಸಾವು ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. The reason he asked this was he thought he was so powerful that a human being or monkey cannot kill me. So Brahma gave him the boon. Similarly, Kumbhakarna wanted to ask for a boon that he should not sleep, but he ended up asking that I should sleep. So Brahma gave him a boon that he would sleep for 6 months and wake for 1 day. Vibhishana asked a boon that he should always walk in the path of dharma. He should never do anything which is against dharma. ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಧರ್ಮದ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ನಡಿಬೇಕು, ಅಧರ್ಮನ್ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ವಿಭೀಷಣ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಆ ವರಾನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ನೀನು ಧರ್ಮದ ಹಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿನಗೆ ಸಾವು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಾನು ವರ ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಸೊ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ವಿಭೀಷಣ wanted to walk in the path of dharma, Brahma gave him an extra boon that he would not die to some extent. There are different immortality. To some extent, Vibhishana will never die. That is the boon that Brahma gave. So once these 3 sons got the boons, Sumali, the grandfather of these 3 children, instigated Ravana, saying that your brother Kubera is Ravana's brother. Okay, because their common father is Vishrava. So Sumali, the grandfather, told Ravana or Dashagriva that you should go and fight with Kubera and take control of the Pushpaka Vimana. But Ravana, he is son of Vishrava, so there is some sattva guna in him. Initially, Ravana resisted. He said, I will not fight with my brother. But after persistent instigation from Sumali, Ravana went and fought with Kubera. He defeated Kubera and he took over the Pushpaka Vimana. Ravana ಕುಬೇರನ್ನ ಸೋಲಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪುಷ್ಪಕ ವಿಮಾನನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ತಗೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮದುವೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ರಾವಣನ್ಗೆ, ಕುಂಭಕರ್ಣನ್ಗೆ, ವಿಭೀಷಣನ್ಗೆ. ರಾವಣ ಮಾಯಧಾನವ ಅಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅವನ ಮಗಳು ಮಂಡೋದರಿನ್ ಮದುವೆ ಆದ. ಸೊ ರಾವಣ's wife is Mandotri, who is the daughter of Mayadhanava. So after some time, Ravana became very arrogant. He started troubling everyone, human beings, devas, nagas, yakshas, everyone. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದ. ಸೊ ಕುಬೇರ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಎಲ್ಡರ್ ಬ್ರದರ್ sent a messenger to Ravana telling him that he should remember that he is the son of Visrava and he should not do adharma. ರಾವಣನ್ಗೆ ಕುಬೇರ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ, ಈ ತರ ನೀನು ವಿಶ್ರವಣನ್ ಮಗ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀನು ತುಂಬಾ ದಬ್ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ, ಆ ತರ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ರಾವಣ ವಾಸ್ ಸೋ arrogant, he killed the messenger. He killed the messenger and he went and chased Kubera again and again defeated him and sent him out of his kingdom, and Kubera went and settled in Kailasha, which is Shiva's place. After defeating Kubera, Ravana was returning on the Pushpaka Vimana. Pushpaka Vimanadalli ಬರ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೈಲಾಶ ಪರ್ವತ ಇತ್ತು. So Ravana saw this Kailasha Parvata on the way. He was so arrogant. He had defeated so many devas, rakshasas, yakshas, nagas. He had become so arrogant that on the way he met Nandi on Kailasha Parvata, and he made fun of Nandi because Nandi is short and he has a bull face. Nandi ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವಮಾನ ಮಾಡ್ದ ರಾವಣ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂದಿ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ, ಕೋತಿಗಳಿಂದ ನೀನ್ ಸಾವು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, you will be killed by monkeys because you are making fun of my appearance, monkeys will kill you ಅಂತ ನಂದಿ ಒಂದು ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಇದನ್ನ ಆ ಶಾಪದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ರಾವಣ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ he thought, how can monkeys kill me, I am so strong. Now the Pushpaka Vimana can travel anywhere, but it did not go over the Kailasha Parvata because Shiva and Parvati were on the Kailasha Parvata. Shiva Parvati Kailasha Parvatadalli ಕೂತಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಪರ್ವತದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪುಷ್ಪಕ ವಿಮಾನ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. Ravana became angry. So what he did was, he thought he will uproot the Kailasha Parvata so that his Pushpaka Vimana can pass through. ಆ ಪರ್ವತನ ಎತ್ತಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ ಅವನು ಎರಡು ಕೈಯಿಂದ. So when he tried to lift the Pushpaka Vimana, it shook and Parvati was sitting on Shiva's thigh. She was disturbed. ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಾಡಕ್ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪಾಪ ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ಪಾರ್ವತಿಗೆ. ಶಿವ ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಕಾಲಿನ ಬೆರಳಿನಿಂದ ಪರ್ವತನ ಕೆಳಗೆ ತಳೆದ್ರು. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಟೋ, Shiva pushed the mountain down and the mountain jammed Ravana's hands. Ravanan ಕೈ ಸಿಗಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ಪರ್ವತದ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ. So Ravana started shouting. He shouted so horribly. So he got the name Ravana, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ ಭಯ ಪಡಿಸೋನು. ಅವನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಿರ್ಚಿದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಭಯ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. Everyone was scared because Ravana shouted so fiercely. So his name became Ravana. Ravana means one who makes others fear. So Ravana was hand was crushed and he started performing tapas to Shiva at that spot. He performed tapas for 1,000 years. When Ravana performed tapas for 1,000 years with his hand stuck under the mountain, after 1,000 years, Shiva appeared in front of Ravana and he gave the name Ravana. Till that time, his name was Dashagriva. Ravana ಹೆಸರು ದಶಗ್ರೀವ ಅಂತ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಇವನು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಗಲಾಟೆ ಮಾಡೋದ್ನೋ ಶಿವಾನೇ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನಿಗೆ ರಾವಣ ಅನ್ನೋ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ರಾವಣನ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ತ್ರಿಶೂಲನು ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಸೊ ಶಿವ ಗೇವ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಅ ತ್ರಿಶೂಲ. ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ತ್ರಿಶೂಲ, ರಾವಣ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದ ವಾರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಜೀವಿನಿ ಪರ್ವತ ತರಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ತ್ರಿಶೂಲ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ರಾವಣ ಇನ್ ದ ವಾರ್. ಸೊ ಶಿವನ ಹತ್ರ ವರಾನು ಹೆಸರು ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತ್ರಿಶೂಲನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದ ಅವನು ಪುಷ್ಪಕ ವಿಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ಪುಷ್ಪಕ ವಿಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆನ್ ದ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತ, he saw a beautiful girl, young girl or a young lady. She was the daughter of Kasadvaja. Kasadvaja is the son of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the guru of devas. Brihaspati's son is Kasadvaja. Kasadvaja's daughter is Vedavati. This Ravana tried to molest Vedavati. So Vedavati felt insulted because Ravana touched her. So she jumped into a fire, into the homa fire. Before jumping in, she said, a woman will be the cause of your death. ನಿನ್ ಸಾವು ಒಂದು ಹೆಂಗಸಿನ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದಾನೇ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಅವಳು ಅಗ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿದ್ಬಿಟ್ಲು. So when she fell into the Agni, when Vedavati fell into the Agni, a flower came out of the fire. And Ravana became worried. He thought that this flower is going to be the cause of my death. ಆ ಹೂವ ಅಗ್ನಿಯಿಂದ ಹೂವ ಬಂತು, ಈ ಹೂವದಿಂದನೇ ನನ್ನ ಸಾವು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. He took that flower to Lanka and he showed it to his grandfather Sumali. Sumali said, destroy this flower. They could not, ಈ ಹೂವನ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಂತ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. So they threw the flower into the ocean. ಆ ಹೂವು, that flower came all the way to Janaka, that is today's Nepal, somewhere in the border of Nepal, and it was found in the ground. Ali, the king Janaka was plowing the field, and in the field he found this, the flower became a girl, and he found this girl, and he took her in his arm, and he gave her the name Sita. ಈ ಹೂವು ಜನಕಪುರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಭೂಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜನಕ ಅನ್ನೋ ರಾಜ ಪ್ಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗುವಾಗಿ ಆ ರಾಜನಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ತ. And this Sita became the cause of Ravana's death. So Vedavati's curse that a woman would be cause of his death became Sita. Then Ravana did not stop there. He threw the flower and he was still continuing with his atrocities. Ravana ತುಂಬಾ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದ. There was a king by name Marutta. A Marutta, that Marutta was performing a yaga, 100-year yaga. At that time, Ravana went and challenged Marutta for a fight. But when somebody is performing a yaga, they cannot fight. Yaga ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ರಾಜ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಮರುತ್ತಾನ ರಾಜ, ನಾನು ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಅಯೋಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ರಾಜನ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. So Marutta asked Ravana to go and ask for a fight with the king of Ayodhya. The king of Ayodhya at that time was Anaranya. Anaranya was the king of Ayodhya. So Ravana went and challenged Anaranya. Both of them fought, and Anaranya lost. Anaranya ಸೋತೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ರಾವಣನ ಹತ್ರ. ರಾವಣ ಅನಾರಣ್ಯನ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅವಮಾನ ಮಾಡ್ದ. ಅವಾಗ ಅನಾರಣ್ಯ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ನನ್ನ ವಂಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋ ಒಬ್ಬ ನಿನ್ನನ್ನ ಕೊಲ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅನಾರಣ್ಯ cursed that descendant of my dynasty will kill you. After this, Ravana continued killing many people and kidnapping many women. He would kill the men, kidnap the women. ಗಂಡಸರನ್ನ ಸಾಯಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದ, ಹೆಂಗಸರನ್ನ ಅವನ ಜೊತೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದ. ಸೊ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಕರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಗಂಡಸರೆಲ್ಲ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ರು, ಹೆಂಗಸರೆಲ್ಲ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ರು. ತುಂಬಾ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, ರಾವಣಸ್ ಬ್ರದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಕುಬೇರ. ಕುಬೇರನ್ಗೆ ನಳಕುವಾರ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಗ. ಕುಬೇರ ಸನ್ ಇಸ್ ನಳಕುವಾರ. ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಳಕುವಾರ ಅಂಡ್ ರಂಭ ವೇರ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್. ರಂಭಾನು ನಳಕುವಾರನ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ರು. ಅವಾಗ ರಾವಣ ಮೊಲೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ರಂಭ. ನಳಕುವಾರ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು Ravana's son. So Ramba is as good as Ravana's daughter-in-law. But at that time he molested Ramba. ಯಾವಾಗ ರಂಭನ ಅವನು ಬಲಾತ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನೋ, ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ನಳಕುವಾರ. ನೀನ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಹೆಂಗಸನ್ನ ಬಲಾತ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಕ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿನ್ ತಲೆ 100 ಪಾಲಾಗಿ ಒಡೆದೋಗತ್ತೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೊಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನದರ್ ವುಮನ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲೈಫ್, ಯುವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು hundreds of pieces ಅಂತ ನಳಕುವಾರ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ, ರಾವಣ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಕರ್ಸಸ್. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಗಂಡಸರು, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಹೆಂಗಸರು ರಾವಣನ್ಗೆ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ವೆನ್ ರಾವಣ ವಾಸ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ಡೀಡ್ಸ್, he had a son by name Meghanada. Meghanada was always performing penance. ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದ ರಾವಣನ ಮಗ ಮೇಘನಾದ. ಶಿವನ್ಗೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಗೆ ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ವರಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದ. he had obtained so many boons from both Shiva and Brahma. Once Ravana returned after all his expeditions, he returned to Lanka to see Meghana performing tapas. ಯಾವಾಗ ನನ್ ಮಗ ಮೇಘನಾದ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ರಾವಣನ್ಗೆ, ಅವ್ನ್ ಕೋಪ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ಇನ್ಮುಂದೆ ನೀನು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. So he said, stop penance and come with me and fight. So ಮೇಘನಾದನ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ದೇವರುಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಜಗಳಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದ. And ಮೇಘನಾದ defeated Indra and imprisoned him. So he became Indrajit. ಮೇಘನಾದ ಅನ್ನೋನು ಇಂದ್ರನನ್ನ ಸೋಲ್ಸಿದಿಂದ ಇಂದ್ರಜಿತ್ ಆಗೋದ. ಇಂದ್ರ ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೈದಿ ಆದ್ನೋ ಅವಾಗ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮೇಘನಾದನ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ವರ ಕೊಟ್ರು, ನೀನ್ ಏನ್ ವರ ಬೇಕೋ ಕೇಳು ಅಂತ. So Brahma came to Indrajit or Meghanada and told him, since you have captured Indra, you please release him, I will give you a boon. And Indrajit said, I should not die. Naan satte hogbardu anno vara kelda. Brahma ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ತರ ವರ ನಾನು ಕೊಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. I cannot give you such a boon. You ask for any other boon. So Indrajit said, if I perform a sacrifice in which I give a goat as the sacrifice and then go for a fight, I should not lose. ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಆಡನ್ನ ಬಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಆ ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋತೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. And Brahma gave this boon. So that is why it was so difficult to kill Indrajit. He would perform a sacrifice, goat sacrifice before going to war, and nobody could defeat him. ಈ ವಿಷಯ ವಿಭೀಷಣನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು. ವಿಭೀಷಣ ಈ ವಿಷಯನ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಬಲಿ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇಂದ್ರಜಿತ್ನ ಸಾಯಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಇಂದ್ರಜಿತ್ ಕುಡ್ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರಿಫೈಸ್ ಅ ಗೋಟ್, ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ kills him. So if you see, on the one hand, Ravana had many curses. He had one boon or one or two boons, but he had many curses. ತುಂಬಾ ಶಾಪ ಆಯ್ತು ರಾವಣನ್ಗೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಂದ್ರಜಿತ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ವರಗಳಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂದ್ರಜಿತ್ನ ಕೊಲ್ಲೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ. ರಾವಣನ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಕೊಲ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ಅಗಸ್ತ್ಯ ಸೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಫುಲ್ ಟು ಯು ದಟ್ ಯು ಕಿಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂದ್ರಜಿತ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ this narration by Agastya. I am going to take 10 more minutes. I hope it is fine. Is that fine if I take 10 more minutes?
Okay.
Okay. So once Rama heard all this story, he asked Agastya that Ravana had defeated so many people, but did anyone manage to defeat Ravana? Was he so powerful that nobody can defeat him? Agastya told that yes, he was defeated. ರಾಮ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಗಸ್ತ್ಯನ, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ರಾವಣನ್ನ ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋಲ್ಸಿದ್ರ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಗಸ್ತ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಹೌದು, ಅವ್ನು ಸೋತಿದ್ದ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನರ ಹತ್ರ ಅಂತ. The first person who defeated Ravana was, there was a king by name Kartyavirya Arjuna. Kartyavirya Arjuna was a Haihaya Raja. This Kartyavirya Arjuna was killed by Parashurama. Once Ravana was performing Sandhya Vandana on the Narmada river. Narmada river ನದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ವಂದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. There was a sudden flood of water and Ravana's puja was interrupted. ಅವನು ರಾವಣ ಕಳಿಸ್ದ ಅವನ ಸೈನಿಕರನ್ನ, ಏನಾಯ್ತು ನೋಡಿ ಅಂತ. He sent some of his soldiers to find out the cause for the flood. There was this Raja Kartyavirya Arjuna. He had 1,000 hands. With 1,000 hands he was blocking the flow of Narmada river. 1000 ಕೈಗಳಿಂದ ನದಿನ ತಡೆದು ನಿಲ್ಸಿದ ಅವನ ಕೈಯಿಂದ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನೀರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಆಗಿ ರಾವಣನ್ಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ರಾವಣ ಗಾಟ್ ಆಂಗ್ರಿ. ಹಿ ವೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಫೈಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಾರ್ತ್ಯವೀರ್ಯ ಅರ್ಜುನ. ಸೊ ಕಾರ್ತ್ಯವೀರ್ಯ ಅರ್ಜುನನು ರಾವಣನ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಕಾರ್ತ್ಯವೀರ್ಯ ಅರ್ಜುನ ರಾವಣನ್ನ ಸೋಲಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪುಲಸ್ತ್ಯರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ರಾವಣನ್ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರು. ಯಾಕೆ ಕಾರ್ತ್ಯವೀರ್ಯ ಅರ್ಜುನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಕಾರ್ತ್ಯವೀರ್ಯ ಅರ್ಜುನ ದತ್ತಾತ್ರೇಯಗೆ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವನ್ 3 ವರ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದ. ಕಾರ್ತ್ಯವೀರ್ಯ ಅರ್ಜುನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವರ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, Kartyavirya Arjuna had performed tapas to Dattatreya Swami, and he had taken 3 boons. The first boon was that he should always be righteous. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಧರ್ಮದ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡಿಬೇಕು. Second boon was he should always be surrounded by good people. It is not sufficient if I am a good person. I should be surrounded by good people. ಸೊ ಎರಡನೇ ವರ, ನನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜನ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹಿತೋಪದೇಶ ಕೊಡೋರು ಇರಬೇಕು. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಬೂನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕಿಲ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಅ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ನನ್ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಮಹಾನ್ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಸಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು. ಈ ಮೂರ್ವರನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ತಿವೀರ್ಯ ಅರ್ಜುನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಡಿಫೀಟ್ ರಾವಣ. ಲೇಟರ್ ಪರಶುರಾಮ ಕಿಲ್ಡ್ ಕಾರ್ತಿವೀರ್ಯ ಅರ್ಜುನ. ಸೊ this is the first instance where Ravana had been defeated by someone. The second instance where Ravana had been defeated was, ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ರಾವಣ ಸಮುದ್ರ ತಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕೋತಿ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ವಂದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ರಾವಣ saw a monkey performing ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ವಂದನ. ರಾವಣ thought he will go and catch hold of this monkey. ಆ ಕೋತಿನ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೋದ. ಈ ಕೋತಿ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರಲ್ಲ, ವಾಲಿ. ವಾಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋನು ಋಕ್ಷರಾಜ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕೋತಿನ ಮಗ. ಋಕ್ಷರಾಜ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನ ಮಗ. ಆ ಕತೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಋಕ್ಷರಾಜ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನ ಮಗ. ಆ ಋಕ್ಷರಾಜನ ಮಗ ವಾಲಿ. ಆ ವಾಲಿ ಇಂದ್ರನ ಪುತ್ರ. ಋಕ್ಷರಾಜ ಅನ್ನೋನು ಅವನೇ ತಂದೆ ಅವನೇ ತಾಯಿ. ಅವನಿಗೆ 2 ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಸುಗ್ರೀವ ವಾಲಿ. ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಮಗ ಸುಗ್ರೀವ, ಇಂದ್ರನ ಮಗ ವಾಲಿ. ಸೊ ಋಕ್ಷರಾಜ ಇಸ್ ಬೋತ್ ದ ಫಾದರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಮದರ್. Through Surya he had a son called Sugriva, and through Indra he had a son called Vali. And Indra had given a gold chain to Vali. Whenever Vali was wearing the chain, if anybody fought with him, the opponent's power would be acquired by Vali. ಯಾರು ಜಗಳ ಆಡ್ತಾರೋ ವಾಲಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ, ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಶಕ್ತಿ ವಾಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So Vali was a very powerful monkey. So when Ravana tried to attack Vali, Vali caught hold of Ravana in his armpit. ವಾಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಶಕ್ತಿಶಾಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅವನ್ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ನಿಂತಿದ್ದ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಹಂಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಸಮುದ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸಮುದ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೌತ್ ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೌತ್ ಸಮುದ್ರ, ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಸಮುದ್ರ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನೆ ಮಾಡೋ 5 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ 4 ದಿಕ್ಕಿಗೂ 4 ಸಮುದ್ರಕ್ಕೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. He used to jump in 4 directions to the 4 oceans and then come back performing the Sandhya Vandana in 5 minutes. He was so powerful. So he caught hold of Ravana in his armpit and he jumped in all the 4 directions. Then he came back to Kishkinda and asked Ravana, what do you want? ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆನೂ ರಾವಣನ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಿಷ್ಕಿಂದಾಗ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ರಾವಣನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಹೇಳು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ದ. Ravana realized that Vali was more powerful. ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕ್ಷಮಿಸ್ಬಿಡು, you make me a friend ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು Ravana and Vali became friends. So there were 2 people who defeated Ravana. One was Kartyavirya Arjuna and second was Vali. So ಈ ಕಥೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ರಾಮನ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಂದೇಹ ಬಂತು. So Rama had another doubt. Rama said, this Hanuman here is more powerful than Vali. But why was he always running away from Vali instead of fighting with him? ವಾಲಿಗಿಂತ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹನುಮಾನ್ಗೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅವನ್ನ ವಾಲಿನ ಸೋಲ್ಸೋದ್ ಬದಲು ಸುಗ್ರೀವನ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಓಡೋಗ್ತಿದ್ರು ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಅಂತ ರಾಮ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಾಗ, ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಕೇಸರಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕೋತಿನ ಮಗ. ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೇಸರಿ, ಅ ಮಂಕಿ ಕಿಂಗ್. ಕೇಸರಿ's wife was Anjana. But Anjana was through the grace of wind god, ವಾಯು ಭಗವಾನಿಂದ ಅಂಜನಾಗೆ ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಗ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ. ಅವ್ನು ಹುಟ್ಟುವಾಗ್ಲೇ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ವಾಯುಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಹನುಮಾನ್ಗಿದೆ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಡು ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಬೋತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ when Hanuman was a child, he saw the sun and thought it is a fruit. He was hungry, so he leapt into the sky and tried to eat the sun. ಆ ಸೂರ್ಯನ್ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಣ್ಣು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಗರಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿಯಕ್ಕೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಇಂದ್ರ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವಜ್ರಾಯುಧನ ಹಾಕಿ ಹನುಮಾನ್ನ ಹೊಡೆದು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬೀಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಸೊ ಥ್ರೂ ವಜ್ರಾಯುಧ ಇಂದ್ರ ಹಿಟ್ ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಫೆಲ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಬ್ರೋಕ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಜಾ. ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದವಡೆ ಹೊಡೆದಾಗಿರೋ ಅಂತ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಹನುಮಾನ್ಗೆ ಗಾಯ ಆಯ್ತೋ ವಾಯು ಕೋಪ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ಸೊ ವಾಯು ವಾಸ್ ಆಂಗ್ರಿ, ಸೊ ಹಿ ವಿಥೆಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಏರ್. ವಾಯು ವಿಥೆಲ್ಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಏರ್. Nobody could breathe. So all the devas with Brahma came to Hanuman and Vayu and they gave him many boons. They gave back his life and they said no weapons can hurt him. ಯಾವ ಆಯುಧನೋ ಹನುಮಾನ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವನ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. He can take any form at will. So they gave him many boons. but he was only a child. He had all this power. He started playing mischief. ಈ ಋಷಿಗಳು ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ತೊಂದರೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಅವಾಗ ಒಂದ್ ಋಷಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ರು, ಈ ತರ ನಿನಗಿರೋ ಶಕ್ತಿ ನಿನಗೆ ಮರ್ತೋಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ one of the rishis who was troubled by Hanuman as a child gave him a curse that you will forget your own powers. ಸೊ ಹನುಮಾನ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಮರ್ತೋಯ್ತು. ಅವಾಗ ಬೇರೆ ಋಷಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲೋ ದೇವರುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆ ಋಷಿ ಹತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಈ ತರ ನೀವು ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಅವ್ರ ಬಲ ಮರ್ತೋದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ರಾಮನ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. So the other rishis requested the rishi who had cursed Hanuman that if Hanuman forgets his power, he cannot help Rama effectively. So the rishi gave a waiver saying that when somebody reminds you of your power, you will get back your power. So ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ನಿನಗೆ ನಿನ್ ಶಕ್ತಿನ ನೆನಪಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಿನ್ ಶಕ್ತಿ ನಿನ್ಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಅವಾಗ್ಲೇ ಸುಂದರಕಾಂಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹನುಮಾನ್ ಸಮುದ್ರ ದಾಟಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜಾಂಬವಾನ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಶಕ್ತಿನ ನೆನಪಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಜಾಂಬವಾನ್ ರಿಮೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹನುಮಾನ್ of his strength, and then Hanuman realizes how strong he is and he starts helping Rama. So these are some of the stories that are present in the Uttarakanda. I had to tell them very fast. Uttarakanda by itself is a big section. I have told some stories, just the summary of the stories in the interest of time. If anybody is interested, I can always narrate the story in detail. I hope you found it interesting. I don't know if you have any questions. Maybe we can take one or two questions now.
Thank you, Sundar, for that amazing talk. And any one or two of you, if you please raise your hand, we will invite you to ask a question. If anybody has a question, please do ask. Mary has raised her hand. Arvind, can you permit her? Mary, can you unmute and speak?
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir. It was very informative because I have heard little about our Mahabharata, but today I had a very detailed and very informative and wonderful session. So a lot of takeaway. I learned a lot more than I is for me. No questions is there, but a lot of takeaway because I'm hearing it detailed now only because long in school I have studied about Mahabharata, but today detailed I studied. So it's a lot of takeaways, sir. It's a wonderful and awesome session, sir. Thank you once again, sir. All the best for your life.
Thank you, Mary. Pramit, you have a question?
Sir. Yes, I had one question that.
Yeah, you can ask.
Chanakya is also included or it is different?
Sorry?
Chanakya is different, na sir?
Chanakya, is it?
Yeah.
No. Chanakya lived in 300 BC. That is around 2300 years ago. Ramayana is very old. So they are different times.
Sir.
They have different time.
Yes, sir. And I understood it. It was very wonderful, sir. I enjoyed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pramit. Anybody else? Okay, so this was a session that we were looking forward to, and we were thoroughly entertained. let me complete my story that I just told you. Like you, the manager also was curious. And our hero, the new employee, packed the shoes and gave it to the businessman. Of course, the new employee had a doubt how to collect the money from a big businessman, but somehow he did it. And next day, the businessman came back. He came back and spoke to the same employee. Hello, sir. You have given me one shoe with a size 8 and another shoe with a size 7. Can you please give me the correct size? So this way, the new employee, not only did he get the customer to come back, but he got the businessman to pay the money, because the second time he would have come back with the wallet. So like that, stories help us teach us morals, they help us teach us lessons, and they are a wonderful tool for all of us to progress in life. All companies tell stories, all humans tell stories. We have to be excellent in that skill. And we thank Sundar for bringing us all the tales from Ramayana. It is time to propose the vote of thanks, which will be done by Kranti.
Justin, Priya wants to say something. Priya, you can unmute.
Priya, are you there? I think.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sundar. Excellent memory. We should really appreciate that excellent remembrance of all the names and sequences. And thank you for accepting the invite. Thank you so much on behalf of Rotary. Thank you, Sundar.
Thank you, Priya, for that word of encouragement. And let's ask Kranti to propose the vote of thanks.
I don't think Kranti has joined. I think let's Priya only.
Yeah, Priya, can you
Yeah.
say a word of thanks on behalf of the club?
Yeah.
Priya, I have unmuted you.
Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute.
I have unmuted you.
Just one ನಿಮಿಷ ಯುವ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಓಕೆ ಪ್ರಿಯಾ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಪ್ರಿಯಾ
Priya, I have unmuted you.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. On behalf of President of Rotary Bangalore Abilities, all the directors, participants, and all the other presidents of other clubs, I thank Sundar NR for his excellent presentation and very enjoyable, very gripping kind of the session, which was so gripping. And thank you so much on behalf of all our participants. I really thank you for accepting this invite and being a part of it. And I also thank the president for giving a time slot. And definitely, if it's so enjoyable, we can have more sessions. We hope for more sessions for our summer camps also. And I thank the tech team for being very supportive. I thank all the participants for being a part of this wonderful session. Thank you, Sundar, once again, and thanks all of you for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya, for that word of thanks. So, all of you, I hope you all had a good day listening to the master. narrate his story. He is the Narada of today. Finally, I ask the president to adjourn the meeting. Thank you once again,
is
everybody.
adjourned.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.